back here on the Yaffee program. News Talk 770 AM, 92.5 FM, WVNN. You know, in a sane world, in a world of common sense, President Trump's budget proposal would just be accepted. It would be a no-brainer. There's a lot of consternation today because he has proposed $1.5 trillion for the military. And usually the response is, well, we already spend more than most other countries by far. We don't need a bigger military. But historically speaking, we are spending, as a percentage of our GDP, much less than we should be, especially when you think about the threats from China, Russia, places like Iran, North Korea. Our military needs to be updated where we have a faster supply chain to resupply missiles. We need to counter drones, everything else. It should be a no-brainer. The main job of our federal government is national security. And you get the left, and I've been talking about this for weeks, where they say, no, instead of spending money on military, we need free health care or something. They say the military-industrial complex is why we're broke. Actually, no. If you want to talk about an industrial complex that's really ruining spending in this country when it comes to the government, it is the welfare industrial complex, these entitlement programs, these welfare programs. The military right now is 16% of the federal budget. 16%. There was a time not that long ago in our history where it was like half of our federal budget. Now it's 16%. I saw people saying, oh, we're going to war for Israel while Israel gets free health care. We could spend that money on our health care. We are already spending way more on health care through Medicare and Medicaid. Then you throw in Obamacare and other proposals in there, other programs in there. We're already spending way more than we are in the military. And yet we still have problems. The problem is priority. Priority. And with the issues, I mean, this, like I said, in a normal world where the government actually prioritizes its main job, which is national defense, which is protecting our rights, a budget like this, because if this passed, say this, and it won't, unfortunately, but say this budget passes, it still would be about a little under 4.5% of GDP. We are asking NATO countries right now, blasting NATO countries for not contributing enough to national defense. We want them to contribute 5% of their GDP. Well, shouldn't we do that too? Now, the Wall Street Journal put it well. They said Washington has for years given priority to spending to butter over guns. The result is a shrunken military industrial base that has been exposed by the wars in Iran and Ukraine. Credit then to President Trump, who is meeting the moment by proposing a new and record increase in national defense. Yeah, he should get credit. But unfortunately, he's not, because this is also a part of it. There are some cuts as well. It would include a 10% decrease in non-defense discretionary spending, money for new immigration detention centers, 13% increase in the Department of Justice funding to focus on violent criminals, $10 billion fund within the National Park Service, a 19% decrease to the Department of Agriculture, ending certain university grants, 13% decrease to the Department of Housing and Urban Development, 12% decrease to the Department of Health and Human Services, $106 million cut to funding the Agency for Healthcare Research, eliminating more than $15 billion in funding from the Biden-era bipartisan infrastructure bill, and cuts to National Oceans, or the NOAA grant programs. So we need those cuts. There have been a lot of cuts to the federal workforce, which is good. But this isn't the problem. I mean, we all need to be serious about this. In order to get our budget under control, it's not about cutting military spending. It's not that we can't afford more military spending. It's that we are being choked, buried under the entitlement industrial complex, under Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. And until we get serious and either grow our way out of this mess, which I don't think is possible, or we actually reform those programs like they need to be reformed and Trump doesn't want to do it, we're going to continue with this problem. So in a sane world, Trump's budget would be passed, but we don't live in a sane world, especially when it comes to D.C. Going to speak with Caroline Dobson next here on the Yaffee program.
It's the Yaffee program on WVNN.
The NFL Draft, presented by Bud Light, is coming to Pittsburgh, and it's your chance to witness the future of the game for free from April 23rd to April 25th. Feel the energy of the NFL Draft. See the Vince Lombardi Trophy and Super Bowl rings. Meet NFL players and legends. Enjoy interactive games and live music performances, and be there as the future of the NFL takes center stage. The NFL Draft starts April 23rd. Register for free entry at nfl.com/draft access today.
Hey there, I'm Paula Pan. I help people make the smartest money decisions possible.
Joe, you know what's been great about being a saver?
More money in the bank.
And that money over the past couple of years has made a pretty good yield. Pre-pandemic, money was making zero. Now it's actually making something, but that's starting to go down, down, down.
I love how we can play the fact that inflation's been really high as a positive. But if you're a saver, you know what that means? Cha-ching.
Silver lining, Joe, silver lining.
Afford anything. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Vince Colonnese is redefining news talk.
I'm Vince Colonnese, host of the Vince Podcast. I'm bringing you the truth beneath the headlines of all of the nation's top stories.
In-depth interviews.
We feature newsmaking interviews with the top guests on the whole planet. And I'll ask the questions you only dream of other interviewers asking.
And a front row seat to the most important conversations of the day.
It's a show with an obsessive focus on what's good for America. You are going to love Vince.
The Vince Show. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.